My name's Jody Bunting and welcome to BBC Radio Leicester, where me and Denise are here to do our interview.
In the space of 2 years, she's lost quite a lot of weight, probably half her body weight, and she's brought somebody else in too with her that has had the same problem in the past and has managed to lose. Between them, they've managed to lose about they weighed about 60 stone between them. So you can imagine that. Picture that in your head. Tell you more after Whitney Houston, $1 million bill. It's Friday, and that's definitely worth celebrating. Got a question for you. If you've been trying to lose weight, you know how hard it can be. And the heavier you are, the harder it gets to do something about it, don't you think? Well, look, don't despair, because it can be done, and you can definitely do it. That's the message that my first guests on the programme will certainly give you this lunchtime. They are Jody Bunting and Denise Townsend. They're both part of a charity called Hope, Help for Obese People Everywhere. Both of you guys, welcome to the programme. Denise, tell me a little bit about Hope first, because this is something that you've set up, this charity.
When I was at my desperation and they didn't know how much I weighed, I had to go to a weighbridge to get weighed.
How much did you weigh?
I had to go to a weighbridge. I weighed over 34 stone. They couldn't tell me precisely how much I weighed. There was no scales in Leicester to weigh me. This was 6 years ago. It was absolutely disgusting. Or else I had to go to the post office to get weighed on the post office scales.
How did you get
so big?
So big.
I did every diet there was going, and they all work. Lost weight and put it all back on, and more sides every time, and it got a real big problem with me, and I became very depressed. I kept thinking, why can't I control what I eat? Why am I like this? I'm not normal. All these things was mentally flying around my head, and that's how I got so big, because I was so depressed. And I couldn't keep dieting all the time. I kept thinking, where am I going wrong? Why can't I educate my brain? Am I stupid? I must be a stupid person. I can't keep my mouth shut.
So it was simply because you were overeating?
Yes, I was overeating. Food became my enemy. And it was trying to kill me. And I was trying to kill myself by eating it all.
And then what changed?
Well, I watched a programme on television about gastric bypasses, and I thought, right, I'm going to have one of these. So I went down to my doctor's, and she says I don't even know who does it. So then I went to Leeds Medical University. They told me who did it, and luckily there was a bloke in Leicestershire who did it. I was the first person in Bupa to have it done. And I've lost over 27 stone. I've not put any weight back on, and I know for a fact, because people have done programmes on me, I'm the only person to keep the weight off. Just by having a gastric bypass doesn't make you be thin for the rest of your life. You can still put weight back on.
And you've got to be very careful about
yes.
what you eat once you've had one of those.
You've got to be careful. You can only eat small amounts, and you've got to eat high quality food, but also you've got to look after yourself. But you can still eat Mars bars. You can still eat cakes, and the weight won't come off of you. And I am never going to put the weight back on. I have made, to me, my body is a temple now. I am not going to put it through what I put it through. And people can come to the groups every Friday night.
We'll talk about how you managed to do that, and also how people can get involved if they're, suffering in the same way, and they're, desperately trying to lose weight in a few minutes' time. Jodie, I just want to come to you first as well.
Yes.
Tell me about your weight and how big you were before you started.
It's a similar sort of story to Denise. I can sort of blame my parents for this. Basically, they used to work at a chocolate factory. So as I was growing up, there was lots and lots of chocolate, and I used to love it. Coming home from school, just gorging myself in front of the TV. And my mum and dad did try and stop me, but unfortunately, my craving for sugar, just got greater and greater. So much so, after I finished finish school, I went to catering college and learned to be a chef, which was my biggest downfall. So I learned how to make the best desserts in the world, and really just started from chocolate, went on to cakes and started to make wonderful things. Had a partner at the time who was also a chef, so our thing used to be, Friday night, let's make ourselves the best meal we can, and really had a good time. I wasn't the sort of person that, was really, really depressed, whereas Denise, it was life-threatening for her, for both physically and mentally, where I was kind of, happy-go-lucky and, quite enjoying it, even though that I knew long-term that I'd need to do something about it. And then in the year 2000, my daughter was born, and that's when my friend said, you are going to die at 31 stones unless you do something about it. So my weight loss was for my daughter, really. And again, slightly different to Denise, I did it through diet and exercise. And this is something I'm really proud of, because a lot of people these days, do need gastric bypass. They do need pills. They do have to have something else. But thankfully, I can say, I did it through diet and exercise, which makes me proud. I struggle more than Denise, because obviously Denise has got a little bit of a helping hand. But I know that as long as I exercise, that will keep weight and keep healthy.
Okay, look, you're also offering your help, your expertise and your advice on how you've both managed to do that. We'll talk about that in some detail in a few minutes' time here on BBC Radio Leicester. But I'd also be interested this lunchtime, if you're listening to the programme, to hear about your weighty issues, weighty problems. We've all been through it. Particularly, I think, females particularly have this real big thing about having to lose weight. We're constantly on diets, aren't we? If you are struggling with your weight currently, you've tried all the fatty diets, nothing seems to have worked, or you've managed to lose weight and then you reach a goal and then months down the road you've put it all back on. Yeah? Give me a call. Let me know what the situation is with you. Leicester 251 1049, the number here at BBC Radio Leicester. Text me 07786 20 50 80, or you can email me as well. Go to the website bbc.co.uk/Leicester. Alright, ways to get in touch with me this Friday lunchtime.